Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I am Sean from Miles to Memories, and today we have the latest Vegas visitor stats to dive into. The numbers aren't all good, but there is definitely some hope, and I can't wait to go over everything. First, if you like the channel and our videos, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you receive notification of all of our videos. Also, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button on this video. It really helps us out. So let's dive into these numbers. And we'll start with the big one, visitor volume. In July 2020, a total of 1,438,000 people visited Vegas compared to 3,685,900 a year ago. That is a 61% decline year over year, and that once again is helped by the complete lack of convention attendance, 0 convention attendees. Year to date through July, overall attendance is down 55%, from almost 25 million people to just over 11 million. Now let's talk occupancy. In July 2020, total occupancy in Vegas was 42.5%, which is down from 91.1% in July 2019. Yes, Vegas went from filling 91% of the rooms last year to just 42% this year, and there are 25,000 less rooms in inventory, meaning that number is even worse. On the Strip, occupancy was just 41.9%, while downtown it was 41.8%. The real killer is midweek, though. Weekend occupancy is 54.4%, whereas midweek only 36.9% of hotel rooms are filled. But what about the room rates? How are the casinos doing with those? Well, the answer is not bad. The average daily room rate in Vegas was $104.39 in July of 2020, and that compares to $126.92 a year ago. On the Strip, that number was $115.68, and downtown it was $59.74. Overall, this is actually only a 17.8% decline year over year, which isn't bad when compared to many of these other numbers, which are significantly higher. It's definitely one of the better performing areas for Vegas during this recovery. Unfortunately, when we look at revenue per available room, the story changes quite a lot. In July 2020, the Strip's RevPAR, or revenue per available room, was $48.47, whereas downtown was $24.97. Overall, the RevPAR for Vegas was $44.37, which is down 61.6% from a year ago. So why is the RevPAR so low when the room rates are high? The answer is occupancy. Tons of available rooms are generating absolutely no revenue as they sit there empty, and then that's just dragging this number way down. I think it's also important to compare June and July numbers, and I'll dive into those in a moment, but first let's check out a few other interesting stats from July. Total room nights occupied 1,633,400 compared to 4.2 million a year ago. 61% decline. Total deplane passengers, 1.623 million this year, 4.5 million last year, 64% decline. Now, some good news when it comes to auto traffic is that people are actually driving here in pretty good numbers. The average daily traffic on all highways coming into Vegas was 122,299 cars in July of 2020 compared to 135,000 a year ago. So only down about 10%. When it comes to California and Nevada traffic, right on the border, traffic's down about 16.5% from 53,000 a year ago to about 44,000 this year. And then there is gaming revenue. Considering how far visitorship has fallen, I would say gaming revenue numbers are far from a disappointment. In July 2020, Clark County had $612,855,000 in gaming revenue, which is only down 28.9% compared to a year ago. On the Strip, revenue was $330,085,000, which is down 39.2%, and downtown revenue is only down by 20.6%. Those are pretty good numbers, and we'll dive into those just a little bit later when we talk about the June to July numbers, because I think it's important to compare how we reopened and how things progressed through July. So let's dive into those numbers now, but first let's consider that the casinos didn't open until June 4th, so there was only about 27 days in June where they were able to operate, whereas in July they had 31 days to operate. And the number of available rooms between June and July actually increased quite a bit, and so that has a factor in the numbers as well. So let's start by comparing visitor volume. In June, 1,065,000 people visited, whereas in July it was 1.43 million people. That's really good news, but how does it work when you consider the amount of operating days? June had 39,448 visitors per day open, while July had 46,387. This does get a little bit tricky since they are tracking people who arrived on the first few days of June. Even the casinos weren't open, but I think it shows a nice little upwards trend no matter how you kind of slice the numbers together. As we go through the rest of the numbers, we do see some other slight improvements as well, but not a vast recovery when comparing June to July. July did benefit from a busy 4th of July weekend, but it barely outperformed June. For example, occupancy in June 2020 was 40.9% and 42.5% in July. A small increase, but 28,000 more rooms were brought online, so that number is actually better than it looks on paper. And what really isn't improving is RevPAR, unfortunately. As these hotels bring more rooms online, they aren't able to increase their revenue per room very much. RevPAR increased from $42.56 in June to $44.37 in July, but that's still way down from $115.62 a year ago. And this is where we can really see how far Vegas is from a true recovery. Or is it? One area that's fascinating to me is gaming revenue. While revenue is down, of course, it's doing far better than one would think given the rest of these numbers. In June, Clark County had $441,042,000 of gaming revenue, or $16,334,888 for each of the 27 days which the casinos were open. In July, gaming revenue jumped to $612,855,000, or about $19,769,516 for each of the 31 days open. The Strip and downtown both saw pretty nice increases in gaming revenue. So what does this all mean? Las Vegas still has a very, very long road to recovery. MGM Resorts is laying off 18,000 of their furloughed workers nationwide tomorrow, and many other gaming companies will follow suit. These people have been furloughed and on the payroll and largely having medical coverage, but a lot of that will end as these casinos look to transition to a more long-term plan for their recovery. So there is clearly demand for Las Vegas, but not enough to match the overwhelming supply. Las Vegas has grown from a railroad stop to becoming a vital part of Americana. I've traveled quite extensively around the world, and constantly I'm surprised by how well known and popular Las Vegas is. People come here from all over the world, and they dream of coming here from all over the world, and Las Vegas has been able to deliver an experience for all of them. From Asian tour groups to gambling grannies and young people looking to party, Vegas has it all. But when will these people come back, and when will they be able to come back? I think the answer is soon. While this will be a long and slow process, I believe we will start seeing improvements in numbers very quickly. More and more people are looking to get away, and Vegas has finally settled with rules and procedures to help keep people safe and the perception that people are safe. For many, the maskless Strip was too much, but today health and safety procedures are more widespread, they're more even, and they are drawing people back. The true recovery for Vegas won't come, though, until conventions return. Over the past decades, Vegas has grown into the convention capital of the United States. Sorry, Orlando. And so much of the city is based on having those visitors. Since conventions won't be returning until at least next year, things will continue to be tough for a while, especially during the week. While I know this is a lot to digest, I want to leave you with this. Things could be much worse, and there's some good news to be taken from these numbers. Yes, there's a ton of bad news as well, but people are coming and they're spending money, and the numbers are showing that there is demand for Las Vegas and everything that it has to offer. It's going to take time to bring people back in the numbers that we need, but the recovery has already begun. From June to July, we see these numbers are bad and they're scary, but we see an improvement. Las Vegas is open, casinos are reopening. In the last month, we saw Bally's come back online. We saw Mirage just recently open this week. Las Vegas will continue to march forward and bring this product that seemingly has been so popular all around the world. And for that reason, I do think people will be coming back sooner rather than later. But I do admit these numbers are pretty ugly in certain circumstances, and there is a little hope in others. Definitely want to have this conversation with you guys in the comments. Let me know what you think about these numbers, what you think about the numbers from June to July and how they compare to last year and normal times. How long do you think it's going to take for Vegas to recover even to a semblance of normalcy? Let me know below. And don't forget to smash that thumbs up button, share this video with others, let them know about these stats and the numbers and how Vegas is doing. Thanks so much for watching, listening. We'll see you guys next time.